the other thing is we've established a Bitcoin reserve, but we haven't talked about how we can go and fund it. There's some new guidance that we have to do that in a revenue neutral way. My friend Tom Young has a great post on all the different revenue neutral ways you could do this. So this doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means that you need to kind of cross your T's and dot your I's to do it. But there's lots of ways we can add Bitcoin now that we have the Bitcoin reserve. And then finally, there's this sovereign wealth fund that's sort of being set up independently of the Bitcoin reserve, which could buy Bitcoin, which could also buy other cryptocurrencies, could buy all kinds of stuff. So again, that's another thing that's very bullish for Bitcoin. So you put all these things together, and
Fred Krueger delves further into the important topic of Bitcoin's liquidity and how it affects market volatility. Given the growing institutional demand, Krueger emphasizes how the tiny market size of Bitcoin in comparison to more conventional assets makes it vulnerable to abrupt price fluctuations. Additionally, he examines how conventional financial systems impact Bitcoin, talking about how macroeconomic variables and liquidity cycles affect its course. Understanding these liquidity models is crucial, according to Krueger, for forecasting future price changes as Bitcoin use keeps increasing. If you're intrigued by bold predictions and deep financial insights, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more engaging content. Thank you for your support and enjoy the video.
I think there could be just no tax on crypto. Crypto is not taxable. And there are many who say that the IRS has never given guidance really on this. And there's no act of Congress that says that crypto is taxable, right? So anyways, that's a big positive down the road. I think another one is lower short-term rates. I mean, we're still in a 4.5% interest rate environment. I think that's a very problematic for a country with $36 trillion in debt and $7 trillion, which has to be refinanced this year. So Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has said that he wants the interest rate down. We do have another year of Chairman Powell, but he will be replaced. The Treasury is doing whatever it can to get interest rates down. And furthermore, we're having what looks like to be a recession on the horizon. So that's very good for rates. If rates go down, there are less good places to put your money, and that's good for Bitcoin. Long rates, 10-year rates. Bessent has said that one of his goals, or maybe even the biggest goal, is to lower long-term interest rates. So that's something we have to look forward to. I think they're gonna come down, and there may be QE, right? So the Fed may be back to QE. They were in QT, quantitative tightening mode, and that's sort of over at this point. But I think that the policy of high long-term rates that has now persisted since late 2022 is over. Now the other thing is we've established a Bitcoin reserve, but we haven't talked about how we can go and fund it. There's some new guidance that we have to do that in a revenue neutral way. My friend Tom Young has a great post on all the different revenue neutral ways you could do this. So this doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means that you need to kind of cross your T's and dot your I's to do it. But there's lots of ways we can add Bitcoin now that we have the Bitcoin reserve. And then finally, there's this sovereign wealth fund that's sort of being set up independently of the Bitcoin reserve, which could buy Bitcoin, which could also buy other cryptocurrencies, could buy all kinds of stuff. So again, that's another thing that's very bullish for Bitcoin. So you put all these things together, and then you add just time, right? So we don't need any of these new other things to happen. I think we're going to get a lot of them, if not all of them. We don't need any of them to happen. All we need now is for the 1% of America that owns 50% of the stock market, that 1% includes me, to wake up and buy Bitcoin. So, I think that's going to happen. How it happens, how fast it happens, I don't know. We have the power law that tells us how long things have been happening historically. I would argue that, we are on the best of all trajectories here. I've never been so bullish on in terms of from a political standpoint that we feel like we have the wind at our backs. We have a tailwind now. So I think we could go up 3 to 5x over the next 18 months without too much effort. So I have not met that person. I don't find traders who make money. I find people who do nothing make money. So Bitcoin's optimized for those who do nothing. $9 trillion of rolling debts. Yeah, we need interest rates to go down. So imagine how much appetite there will be for Bitcoin in a 3% interest rate environment. How about a 2% interest rate environment? The ECB has lowered rates to 2.5%, and they're going further down. They're going to go below 2%. So China's lowering interest rates. ECB is lowering interest rates. We're going to lower interest rates. If Trump could push a button and lower interest rates, he'd lower up to 1% today. That's where it is. So yeah, I think I'm extremely positive. For this stuff never goes the way you think it will go. Nobody has any visibility over the next 30 days, even next 3 months, I would say. Impossible.
Fred Krueger emphasizes how Donald Trump's thoughts, particularly those related to taxation and regulation, could have a big effect on the cryptocurrency market. According to him, a Trump administration might establish more crypto-friendly laws. Trump might significantly boost Bitcoin investment if he eliminates capital gains taxes on long-term Bitcoin holdings. Krueger also cites a significant SEC announcement from February 27th that made it clear meme coins are not securities. This ruling gives the larger cryptocurrency market more legitimacy and may pave the way for greater institutional participation. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable post notifications for future Bitcoin, macroeconomic, and digital asset content before we go any further. Now, let's get into his powerful predictions.
The next year even is still difficult, like statistically. So, the only thing you can do is maybe lighten up a little bit if you get into these periods of euphoria, which we're not in right now. And you can measure that by the great work that SEMA and Plan C have done for these, richness indicators based on the power law. I think they're very good, and they can give you a little bit of an indication as to where we are. In terms of fair value, right now we're smack at 50%, right? So, with that said, like everybody else, I'm a monkey that loves to check the market, I actually think we're going to go higher in the short term, but I could be completely wrong. Why would Congress eliminate tax increase? I don't know. I think that Congress will do whatever Trump wants to do, and they don't have a mind of their own at this point. And I think Trump wants to eliminate taxes on crypto. I think there are two fundamental growth areas in the U.S. economy that we have to prioritize. And those are, number one and most importantly, AI. That is by far the most important. And then a second is crypto. Much less than AI, right? But to the extent that we've neglected it now for the last 5-6 years, we have some catching up to do. So I think crypto is going to be prioritized. I think the Congress will pass it. And I think it'll be a very partisan thing. But, I think it's going to get through. On January 11th, we finally had the Bitcoin ETF, right? So this was the big milestone for all traditional investors who really couldn't get any meaningful exposure to Bitcoin without the Bitcoin ETF. So that was the first thing. And I'm going to probably miss a few. So, this will be a good kind of mental exercise for me to kind of go back and check on these checklists. You can say in between the Bitcoin ETF and Trump, I think you have Michael Saylor issuing these convertible bonds, especially around November, but there's just this huge buying of Bitcoin by Michael Saylor. That's really the other thing that happened in 2024. Then, of course, we have the election. Election's over on November 8th. Trump's clearly elected. We now have, I think that goes down with the ETF. We have for the first time a pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto president, right? Another one I forgot of, which is Trump, right before that, is the inauguration in January, we have Trump launching his meme coin. So I would say that's also significant. It just shows that he really doesn't care, that the new world order has changed completely. Same time, Gary Gensler leaves on January 20th. We have Ross Ulbricht released on January 21st. That was something a lot of us Bitcoiners have been pushing for a long time. And then on February 27th, we have this statement by the SEC saying that meme coins are not securities. Yesterday, we have that the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve finally takes its initial hold. There's an immediate sell-off. They sell the news. Oh no. And then today we have this crypto summit that David Sachs is hosting. So
Fred Krueger talks about how Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are changing, emphasizing significant occasions that have shaped the market. Even while the upcoming year might still be difficult, he admits that knowledge of market cycles and metrics like the power law can shed light on fair value. At 50% of its assessed fair worth right now, Bitcoin may still have room to increase. While acknowledging the market's uncertainty, Krueger maintains his optimism for the near future. His analysis highlights the political impact on crypto legislation as a key subject. According to Krueger, Congress generally follows Trump's agenda. He also expects that Congress would probably approve Trump's proposals for crypto-friendly laws, like removing taxes on long-term Bitcoin holdings. He lists cryptocurrencies as the second, but equally vital area of concentration, and artificial intelligence as the top economic priority for the United States. Since crypto regulation has been neglected for a number of years, Krueger thinks it's time for a change in policy. According to Krueger, the next significant step toward the acceptance of Bitcoin will be lower taxation. He says that exemptions for modest cryptocurrency transactions, like not reporting transactions under $2,000, might greatly increase adoption, even though it is doubtful that the IRS will be eliminated. Furthermore, it would be revolutionary to eliminate capital gains taxes on long-term Bitcoin ownership, encouraging investment and enhancing the cryptocurrency's value as a store of money. Krueger sees an increasingly positive climate for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in the upcoming years as a result of these policy changes. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications if you thought his viewpoint was helpful so you don't miss any updates. We'd love to know what you think about the future of cryptocurrency markets, so please share your ideas in the comments section. We appreciate your time and hope to see you in the next video.